In the mountains of Central Asia, something remarkable is happening that the world barely knows about. While international headlines focus on politics and past conflicts, Afghanistan has quietly launched significant infrastructure projects that could reshape its economic future. We're talking about mining operations that are finally moving from decades of planning to actual extraction, pipeline construction that's connecting continents, and renewable energy projects that are bringing power to communities for the very first time. But here's what makes this different from every other development story you've heard. These projects represent more than just construction. They're part of a calculated effort to redefine how the world sees Afghanistan. Instead of being known for decades of instability, the country's betting everything on becoming a vital link in regional trade and energy networks. And the strategy is working through actions rather than words. Construction crews are working right now on initiatives that could fundamentally alter Afghanistan's role in the regional economy, using partnerships that bypass traditional Western systems. You see, Afghanistan sits on mineral deposits that some estimates suggest could be worth trillions of dollars. And for the first time in decades, some of these resources are actually being extracted. So that leaves one big question. Can infrastructure alone be enough to transform a nation's global image? Let's get started with something that's actually happening right now. After 16 years of delays, the Mus Aina copper mine resumed operations in July 2024. This represents one of the world's largest copper deposits, containing an estimated 11.3 million tons of high-grade copper ore. The China Metallurgical Group Corporation has restarted construction and mining activities under a 30-year contract with the current Afghan government. The scale is expected to be staggering. Officials project this single mine could generate $300 to $400 million in annual revenue and create up to 10,000 jobs, though actual extraction is still expected to be at least 2 years away. But here's where it starts to get complicated. The mining site sits on top of a 2,000-year-old Buddhist monastery complex. Before full extraction can begin, archaeologists are racing to document and preserve artifacts that represent some of the most significant Buddhist heritage in Central Asia. They're essentially conducting one of the world's largest archaeological excavations while simultaneously preparing for industrial mining. The engineering challenges go beyond archaeology too. The copper deposits are located 40 kilometers southeast of Kabul, requiring the construction of entirely new transportation infrastructure. Chinese contractors are building processing facilities and power systems specifically to support the mining operation. And the global implications could be really significant. As one of the world's largest copper deposits, Mus Aina is expected to supply a substantial portion of the copper needed for renewable energy infrastructure, electric vehicles, and modern electronics. Perhaps the most advanced project is one that's been decades in the making. The Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India pipeline, known as TAPI, has 8 kilometers of pipeline already installed in Afghanistan as of March 2025, with construction actively progressing. The pipeline is designed to transport natural gas across 1,814 kilometers of challenging terrain, from Turkmenistan's gas fields to markets in Pakistan and India. The engineering challenges are immense. The pipeline has to cross deserts where surface temperatures exceed 50 degrees Celsius, and mountain passes where winter temperatures drop down below minus 30 degrees. But here's what makes this project remarkable. The pipeline route passes through regions that have experienced decades of conflict, yet construction is proceeding with no major obstacles reported by Afghan officials. The project includes not just the gas pipeline, but also plans for a 500 kilovolt power line, fiber optic cables, and railway infrastructure. The economic potential appears enormous. Officials expect the pipeline to generate significant transit fees for Afghanistan while providing energy security for the region. Afghan authorities are confident the project could create thousands of jobs and provide a foundation for broader economic development. The most ambitious transportation project is finally moving forward too. On July 17, 2025, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan signed a framework agreement for the Trans-Afghan Railway, with construction expected to begin within 6 months. The railway is planned to connect Central Asia to South Asian ports for the first time in modern history. The route will run from Termiz in Uzbekistan through Afghanistan to Karachi in Pakistan. creating a direct trade corridor that bypasses traditional routes through Russia and Iran. But the engineering challenges are expected to be unprecedented. The railway has to cross the Hindu Kush mountain range, requiring extensive tunnel construction through solid rock. The project is estimated to cost between $4.6 and $7 billion and is projected to take approximately 5 years to complete once construction begins. Needless to say, the economic implications could reshape regional trade patterns. Officials project the railway will initially handle 3 million tons of cargo annually, with capacity potentially increasing to 15 to 20 million tons by 2040. For landlocked Central Asian countries, this represents their first direct access to warm water ports. While large-scale projects capture headlines, Afghanistan is also making significant progress in renewable energy. The Naglo solar power project in Kabul is 70% complete and is expected to supply electricity to nearly 23,000 households across 3 provinces. In Herat province, a 5-megawatt solar facility was inaugurated in May 2025 alongside a 43.2-megawatt wind power plant, one of the country's largest wind projects to date. These projects represent real progress in a country where many communities have never had reliable electricity, and the potential appears enormous. Afghanistan's technical solar potential is estimated at 222,000 megawatts, while wind energy potential is calculated at 67,000 megawatts. The challenge is building the grid infrastructure needed to distribute this power across the country's mountainous terrain. The current government has prioritized renewable energy development, contracting multiple solar projects with private sector partners. The strategy aims to build essential infrastructure and regulatory frameworks over the next decade, though timelines remain dependent on various factors. In Kabul, the most significant urban development project is the ongoing Kabul New City Initiative. In December 2024, practical work resumed on Phase 1, Section B, which involves constructing 6,600 housing units designed to accommodate about 40,000 people. The project is being implemented by Kawar Construction in collaboration with the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing. The overall Kabul New City plan covers 740 square kilometers and is intended to eventually house up to 3 million people, though this represents a long-term vision rather than near-term reality. The engineering challenges, as you expect, are substantial. The construction sites are located in mountainous terrain that requires extensive grading, foundation work, and infrastructure development. Builders are creating entire neighborhoods where none existed before, complete with water systems, electrical grids, and transportation networks. And supporting the Mes Aynak copper mine and other potential mining projects is a growing infrastructure development program. Over 70 infrastructure projects have reportedly been initiated nationwide, focusing on transportation and energy systems needed for resource extraction. Construction crews are building roads designed to handle heavy mining equipment and constant truck traffic. These roads must be engineered to withstand extreme weather conditions while maintaining the precision needed for transporting sensitive mining equipment. The power infrastructure development is equally important too. New transmission lines and distribution systems are being built to supply what are expected to be the massive energy requirements of industrial mining operations while also providing power to rural communities. While Afghanistan is believed to possess significant lithium reserves that some estimates suggest could be worth over $1 trillion, large-scale extraction remains elusive. Chinese companies, notably Gochin, have expressed interest and signed preliminary agreements, including proposed investments of $10 billion. However, no large-scale Chinese lithium mining projects are operational as of this year. Despite high-profile announcements and proposed investments since 2023, there's no evidence of significant on-the-ground progress or even any active extraction. The challenges appear substantial. Security concerns, logistical difficulties, outdated geological data, and poor infrastructure continue to hinder progress. And while the potential seems enormous, the reality is that lithium extraction remains in the planning and negotiation phases, with no clear timeline for actual production. What makes these projects significant is Afghanistan's strategic location at the crossroads of Central Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East. The country is positioning itself as what could become a critical link in trade routes that connect some of the world's fastest-growing economies. The financing mechanisms represent a shift away from traditional Western development models. Instead of relying on international development banks, Afghanistan is using bilateral agreements and resource-backed arrangements with regional partners, particularly China and neighboring countries. The construction techniques being developed for these projects are expected to advance engineering practices for high-altitude, extreme climate construction. The solutions for building in regions with limited infrastructure and extreme weather are being studied by development organizations worldwide. But perhaps most importantly, these projects represent a fundamental shift in how Afghanistan sees its future. Instead of depending on foreign aid, the country's attempting to build an economy based on its natural resources and geographic advantages. The world is watching to see if it's possible to build modern infrastructure in one of the world's most challenging environments. Based on what's actually happening right now, from copper extraction preparations at Mus Einak, to pipeline construction for Tapi, to renewable energy installations in Herat, Afghanistan appears to be making measurable progress toward economic transformation. So, what do you think? Can a country transform its economy and international standing through strategic infrastructure development? Or are there challenges that even the most ambitious projects can't overcome? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.